Hi there. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, but the thing is that we are going to talk about some moderately difficult concepts. So first of all, sorry for my bad English, but for those who don't know, Goomba Color emulator is an emulator that runs on the GBA that actually allows you to play Game Boy Color and Game Boy games inside of your GBA flashcard. So if you want to play Game Boy Colors on a GBA flashcard, you have to resort to emulators. You do not have a way to run Game Boy Color games natively in a GBA flashcard. You have to buy a separate Game Boy Color flashcard for that. So once this said, the main problem with Goomba Color is that its save files are not directly compatible with a normal Game Boy Color emulator. For example, if you have a Game Boy Color game with its save file and you want to use that save file inside of Goomba, you have to convert that save file so that Goomba understands your save file. And if you start playing, for example, a new game on a Goomba Color emulator and you want to get that saved game outside of Goomba, you also have to convert that save, because otherwise your Game Boy Color game is not going to grab the data from the Goomba.zap file, so it's not going to work. Back in 2017, I did a program for converting save files because I didn't know there was a public one, and this Goomba converter seems to have been giving problems to a user on the Discord, on the I don't remember, this is GBA dev Discord. Many people has been having problems with Goomba save files, and here in 2017 I just realized that my old video is no longer available, probably because I closed that channel. So I re-uploaded this to my new channel. It's a hidden video though, but I started looking at the code so that I could share it with you. But the thing is that the old code was a fucking mess, and all it did was automate Visual Boy Advance UI. So in let me see, Goomba save, yeah, here this is an old web page that I saved. So Goomba Color actually has the save file, the original Game Boy Color save file, inside of memory. So if you have a way of accessing directly the memory of the emulator or the console itself, you could actually get the save file directly from memory, and you could also inject new save files onto the emulator. So here I show you a demo of the previous version that I did in 2017, which I'm not too proud of. I'll show you the source code in a minute. But I'm going to convert a Game Boy Color save file so that you can use it in Goomba. So I created an executable which is gb to Goomba, which actually automates the process of loading the Game Boy Color game inside of the emulator's memory. So this is not very clean way of doing so, even though it worked pretty well, and I used it extensively for most of the games that I played back in the day. But I just looked at the code and it's basic UI automation, so I'm not liking it too much. So I decided to create a new converter, since a user on the Discord was having problems with the public converter that was available. I realized that they updated it, but seems people were having problems importing and exporting their save files from Goomba still. So I decided to create a new version of the Goomba Color Save Import and Export. So I'm using my Game Boy Advance memory library. This is a memory library that I did for most common emulators, so Visual Boy Advance, MGBA, BGB, and VSOC. So this library actually allows you to directly access the emulated game's memory. So we can actually access the emulator's memory that is the Goomba the Goomba RAM file, and inside of Goomba we can actually get that Game Boy Color save file. So I'm going to do a small demo. I've got this set up. So this is my GBA Goomba game. This is my GVC original game. And this is my Goomba save file. So first of all, I'm going to show you that in the GVC version, I do not have a save file. So if I close it, it will generate a save file, but this is empty. I'm going to be using the Goomba save file. So as you can see, I've got a save file here, and I want to export it to use it with the Game Boy Color. So what I would do now, if you will do export, this will not work since this is not converting the save. This is just exporting the Goomba save file, not the Game Boy save file. So we have to use this Goomba Color save export. It will read the running emulator's memory and extract the save file directly from memory. So we type here Goomba out. So this is the Goomba out save, which is actually a Game Boy Color. So it's not Goomba, it's a GBC save file. So if I am to put it here, I'm not going to be putting it here. I'm just going to be importing it to the emulator. So I will do GBC. Oops, GBC. And I have no version here, no save file here, but I can now load this save file. The emulator will restart and I'll have my save file loaded. Now let's pretend that I save file inside of a Pokemon Center and I want to export this save file so that I can use it on Goomba. So I can save file inside of the emulator. I'm going to remove this save file now, and I have this save file. Now what happens is that Visual Boy Advance is a shitty emulator, and normal Pokemon save files for Generation 2 actually are 32 kilobytes, but Visual Boy Advance actually adds a little bit of garbage code. So if we open it up with a hex editor, we can see that right at the end, the save file should end up here, but it's actually adding this, which I presume is the real-time clock data. But we don't need that. So I created this utility, which is actually on GitHub, so that you can drag your save file, because another user was having problems with this kind of saves on the Nintendo Virtual Console for the 3DS. So this save file, I can delete it. This is the exported 32 Game Boy Color save file. And now we can actually run the GBA emulator. All right. And we can try, as you can see, my save file is in here, but the latest save file, remember, it was inside of this Pokemon Center. So if we try to import that save file, it's not going to work. Why? Cannot open file. Okay. Why? Because that is a Game Boy Color file, not a Goomba file. So we have to convert it. We have to use the import, and we double click, and without closing the emulator, we can just restart inside of Goomba. It's going to pick up my Game Boy Color original save, as you can see. So this is just a small demo on sending save files inside and outside of Goomba. The source code of the new versions, well, this one actually just streams the extra bytes from the file, and the save import and export, what it does is that well, I'm actually just reading the old Game Boy Color save file, and I am actually injecting, let's see, read file, iterate, hex pairs. So I am actually going inside of the emulator's RAM, and I am injecting the Game Boy Color save game inside of the GBA Goomba instance of the game, so that once you restart the emulator, it will pick up from memory the SRAM that it had been injected. Okay, so I hope it's I know it's a little bit messy, it's a little bit hard to understand, but I hope I made it clear. If you have any doubts, I don't know, maybe I'll post it on GitHub. I still don't know where to post it because I wanted to kind of work a little bit more on this library before releasing it. But this is what I have right now. If you have interest in my projects, just there's a watch list. I don't know how you call it this in English. It's in Spanish we say lista de reproducción, which is a I don't know how you call this, playlist. Yeah. This is a playlist of most of the videos that I do, which are actually hidden. Oopsie. But yeah, I do memory, mostly are memory. I add multiplayer and touchscreen to retro games. I create overlays and live trackers for old games. So well, I hope you like this video and see you next time.